Question of Yams by Gloria Rep. Yams are sweet potatoes. Chapter 2. The Headmen. That night the Christians met at Kuri's house. There weren't very many of them. The missionary ladies, Anne and Joyce, came too. Joyce was a tall lady with yellow hair and a sunburned face. She read some words from God's carving. Then Kuri's father spoke to the men. "Pray with us," he said. "I have planted my yams in the Christian way. So have 2 others." "Aren't you afraid?" asked one of the men in a low voice. "No," said Kuri's father. "The spirits cannot make the crops grow. We cannot make the crops grow. Only God can do that. God's carving says, 'Behold, God is mighty. He is mighty in strength and wisdom.'" The Christians prayed for a long time that night. When Kuri grew tired, he curled up on his mat and gazed at the smoky fire. "I wish we had planted the yams the way we used to," he thought. "How can Father be so sure about his God? What is going to happen to us?" Every day after that, Kuri went down to the garden to see how the yams were doing. One morning he found sprouts, tender and green, poking up from the earth. He shouted the news to his family. "The yams have come up. Every one of them is sprouting." "Thank God," Father said with a smile. "Behold, he is mighty." But that night, the headmen paid Kuri's family a visit. "Hear my words," said Sakoso. "You should plant the yams the way our fathers did." His voice grew louder. "The spirits will be angry and punish you. Maybe they will punish all of us." He stared right at Kuri's father. "Even if your yams have sprouted, they will die. Then you will go hungry." The headman left, and Kuri looked to see if his father was worried. Father's dark eyes held only sadness. "We must pray more for those men," he said. "If they knew the power of God, they would believe. But he will show them. He is mighty." The next morning, Kuri ran down to the garden. He knelt by the little plants, afraid that they would be wilted and brown. But they were still green, and they looked taller than ever. Day after day, the sun warmed the little plants. Day after day, the rain watered them, as it always did. Soon, bright green vines began to creep across the mounds. Kuri's mother weeded the vines and used her hoe to break up the soil around them. After a while, Kuri began to think more about hunting wild pigs than about yams. One day, he and Father had just started out when Sakoso stopped them. "Your yams may still grow, but they will not live long," Sakoso warned. His eyes looked like black slits in his wrinkled brown face. "The spirits will punish you and your family soon." Kuri stood still as the headman walked off. Why was Sakoso so sure that something bad would happen? He decided to keep a closer watch on their garden.